for this, as this is kind of an informal masterclass. You guys, I think you should just sit down on the floor so everybody can see. Okay? That's it. There you go. That's it. Take a load off. Relax. Because then these guys can really see what's going on. Okay. All right. There we go. And, all right. Cool. So, as you can see, there's a whole band here tonight called Protocol. So we got a lot of music for you later on. And I was thinking to myself, what's the best way to present because it's kind of short, drum clinic or drum workshop. So what I thought, especially as we are in Bulgaria, and you guys have some pretty amazing music that I've actually listened to and grown up with, and it's pretty complicated. It's got a lot of odd meters in your music, which I absolutely love, and we'll be playing. It's not Bulgarian music, but there's a lot of odd meters in it. So I thought maybe what I should do is go through and explain a little bit of some of the songs we're going to play. So when we get to them, you'll go, yes, this is in 17. And you'll know how to count it, you know? So that's kind of the angle I want to take. But I thought also what I do is try to make some use of this time to practice a little bit and warm up. And you can actually be part of that warming up practice. So I'm going to do a very typical warm up. So this is what I do in the dressing room, back there. Usually on a little practice pad, just a little warm-up exercise. So I'm just going to... You know, one of the things about warming up before you play a show, one can be too obsessed with speed, but speed doesn't necessarily make good music, and we're here to make good music. So we have to find a way of doing some warm-up exercises that will help you play the music rather than just be fast. Because if you arrive to a gig, those of you who are in bands and travel in a van, the van breaks down, or you run out of gas, like I did on this tour somewhere. I wasn't looking at the gas gauge. And you arrive late, and suddenly you're worried about your technique. It's a little late to worry about technique. You know, if you're worried about, you should have worried about that 15 years ago. Okay, not 10 minutes before the show. So I came up with this thing. What is the most important issue when we play music? And especially from a drummer's point of view. And I figured it out. It's transition. It's the transition from the intro to the verse to the B section to the chorus, out of the chorus, back to the re-intro, and then the verse again. Those are the danger points, and that's where things come a little unstuck. That's where the time goes a little weird. Because 9 times out of 10, as a drummer, you play a drum fill, okay? So you're playing along, and then you go, oh, we've got the bridge coming up, and you're going to go, right? Always danger moments, okay? Because that's kind of like going around a corner, getting a little bit of oversteer, you know? So it's these, what I call transitions. They have to be very smooth. And it's a little bit like you're going down the straightaway, you have a corner. Before you turn in, your head always moves in. And you see through the corner. It's the same with music. You're playing the verse. Now you're going to go to the B section. But instead of looking at it like a gate that you're going through, there's the verse, you go through the gate, close the gate, now you're in the B section. Not like that. It's got to be total continual, okay? The time must never change, unless you want it to change, okay? And that gets very involved, so I'm not going to go there because then that's just feel thing. But generally, you want the time to be constant, so you have to look through transition. And if you think about it, the only musician on the stage that's really making that connection transition is usually the drummer. It's just the way things are, you know? The singer usually goes, right? It's usually that drummer that's really going to connect the dots from one section to another. So transition is very important. So I try to put that into a more tangible way of practice. Transition. What's the most difficult thing to do? One of the most difficult things, single stroke to double stroke. This. Okay? And you have to try to make it sound like this. Like one hand, one stick. They will always sound different. 2 bits of wood never sound the same, but 2 hands never sound the same. You know? You ever notice beer tastes different when you drink left-handed? So, transition from single to double and back to single. It's a great exercise, and it doesn't have to be fast. In fact, the slower, the more difficult, because the more likely you are to be inaccurate. Okay, so. Okay, then we take that further, we go from 2s to 3s. And then 3s to 4s. And then I came up with this exercise, which is a 4-bar exercise in 4/4, very easy, okay? 1 bar of singles, 1 bar of doubles, 1 bar of triple, and then 1 bar of 4 strokes. But because 3 doesn't quite go into 16, we're left with 1 little 16th note, and that would be the start of the 4 stroke. So it's just before the bar line, 3, 4, 1, and 4, like that. And then when you get to the end of that, you still got 1 little 16th note somewhere. Now you guys will probably just turn it into 15. and be done with it. But if you want to stay in 4, you've got to add a little 16th note, and that's kind of handy, because then it makes you start the whole thing on the other hand. So you start with the right hand, now you're leading with your left hand, which is also something from the point of view of being a little bit ambidextrous as a drummer is always a good exercise. So, drink, instead of 12 beers with one hand, try 6 with the left as well. Okay? All right, here we go. So, 1 bar singles, doubles, triples, fours. Trying to make it sound like that, like one hand. Okay, this is a great exercise to do because it's more about transition than speed. Okay, once you've got it, try it at different tempos. Try it slowly, and then you can start working up some speed.